Welcome back to another chapter of the Advanced Project Management Certification. Once again, I'm Ibby Taylor. This time we're looking at resource management, the resources available to you when running a project. Now, project resource management is a vital pillar of a successful project and its execution. Yet it's often underestimated in its complexity and scope. It involves different identification, allocation and management of resources. Now, resources can be human, physical, and sometimes intangible, which we'll touch on in a little bit, things like intellectual properties and systems, to ensure project objectives are achieved within scope, time and cost constraints. Mismanagement of resources can derail even the most well-structured plans, leading to inefficiencies, unmet goals and stakeholder dissatisfaction. So a few key points now. So projects rely on more than one type of resource. Managing each effectively requires an understanding of its unique characteristics and constraints. So you've got human resources, physical resources, financial resources, and intangible resources. So human resources is things like team members, contractors, subject matter experts, and stakeholders who carry out project tasks. Effective management involves assigning roles, clarifying responsibilities, and fostering engagement. For instance, during a product launch, a project manager may need to balance the expertise of marketing professionals with technical developers. Bring the two together. We've spoken about integration before, building cohesion and synchronization between units, and it's very important within the management of human resources. Physical resources are things like machinery, materials, tools, facilities. Efficient planning ensures that these assets are maintained and available when needed, avoiding productivity delays. For example, in a construction project, ensuring timely delivery of steel and concrete is crucial to meeting deadlines, but also making sure you've got the tools to install them, the facilities to potentially store them, machinery to work on them. It all comes into physical resource management. And then financial resources, although not physical or human, financial oversight is crucial for resource procurement and management. Now, a poorly managed budget can heavily impact resource availability. And then intangible resources, elements like time, intellectual property, or advanced technology tools like software play a critical role, especially in the tech-driven sector. Now, the resource management lifecycle is not a one-off task. It's an ongoing process. It's always happening. So, resource planning. Identify the exact resources required for specific tasks and determine when and how they'll be utilized. So, building software product may involve developers and marketers towards the release. So, it's understanding when you need that resource. But you can be needing to plan and manage multiple types of resource at the same time. You might need to integrate human resource with physical resource when you're working on a building plan. You're going to need to think, okay, the foundations have gone in, now the walls have gone up. Therefore, the physical resource I need the bricks, I need the cement, but then I need the human resource of the bricklayer on site at the same time as the physical resource with the right tools in order to do the job. Acquisition and allocation. Procure the right resource and assign them where they're most effective. Assign equipment, personnel and tools strategically based on expertise, availability and the project needs. Kind of coming back to what I just touched on. Making sure people and things are in the right place at the right time. Resource optimization. Use techniques such as resource leveling and smoothing to maximize utilization without overburdening the workforce. Making sure someone who works an 8-hour day has only got 8 hours worth of tasks. Probably an hour for lunch as well. This might involve rescheduling tasks to even out the workload distribution for team members. If you've got a team of software developers and you've got 84 tasks on one person for a week, and then everyone else has got an average of 10, you're going to need to do some leveling and some balancing to make sure that you've got an even spread. Now, there are some tasks that can't move naturally, and this is where clever management and good management comes in. Because you might have walls that need to go up. Your resources might be a bricklayer, an electrician, and a plumber. Naturally, the wall side of things, your electrician and your plumber can't help with. So you need to make sure that you've planned accordingly so that you're not overburdening any one single point of resource where those tasks have to fall with that person. Now you're then going to monitor and control, continuously track resource usage, detect inefficiencies and address shortages or over-allocation. For instance, halfway through a renovation project, you may need to adjust labour assignments due to delays in material delivery. And then resource release. When resources are no longer needed, release them efficiently to save costs or make them available for other projects. If you're building a building, once the walls have gone up, you no longer need the bricklayer once all the bricks have been laid. You can then allow him to either move on to your next project or someone else's next project. Techniques for managing the human resource element effectively. Now, human resources, as it says here, they're often the most dynamic, but also the most challenging aspect of resource management. So skill alignment, match team members to roles that suit their strengths and expertise. For example, a graphic designer is assigned to coding tasks. It can lead to inefficiencies and frustration. Exactly right. Understand your resource, understand what they're good at. Where are they going to be best placed in order to benefit your project? Team development, provide ongoing training and development opportunities to enhance skills. A company rolling out new software development tools might schedule workshops or certifications for developers. That's then going to increase the competency of their developers, enabling better resource and hopefully allowing you to make more out of your resource for that project and subsequent projects. Conflict resolution, it does happen with human resources, we're all human. So you need to address interpersonal conflicts or competing priorities within teams to maintain productivity. A simple mediation session can often resolve misunderstandings. It's all about communication, open and honest communication, open forums for constructive communication. Whether it's based between cross-functional teams or team leaders. And then engagement and motivation, massive for a project manager. Recognise team efforts, provide constructive feedback and foster open communication to keep the morale high. A software firm could adopt an incentivization model, such as Employee of the Month, to encourage high performance. It is something that can be done. When you do this, please avoid it being too gimmicky. It often does the opposite. So Employee of the Month can be great as long as that is adopted and backed by the employees, your resource. Because if not, if it's seen as more of a gimmick than an actual praise, it can often work the other way. Now, physical resources are a bit different. Inventory management is huge. So you need to maintain accurate records of resources, ensuring nothing is overlooked. Use software solutions like SAP or Oracle for inventory tracking. How much of what thing do I have? Where is it? Do I have it now? How long will it take to get from point A to point B? If I have something in a warehouse, I need to get it to site. How long is it going to take? If I don't have it in the warehouse, how long will it take to get into the warehouse if I buy it? Maintenance planning. Conduct preventative maintenance to machinery. That will minimise downtime. Construction sites, for example, perform routine checks on heavy equipment to avoid unexpected breakdowns. Because overall, the cost of maintaining something over time is normally lower than a full breakdown. Because if a piece of machinery breaks down, let's say you're on a powered access picker and you're working at height, if you haven't maintained that and you haven't serviced that and it breaks, not only have you got the cost of the breakage, but that could then derail your entire project. That could then cause massive delays, and it could be on very critical pieces on the critical path which have dependencies on other items, which then can't happen due to a simple powered access picker breaking. So everything can have a knock-on impact. And then sustainability strategies. Adopt environmentally friendly practices such as recycling materials in construction projects or using energy efficient tools. Just something nice to do, and means that you are managing your physical resource efficiently and effectively. Now, anticipating and managing challenges is always big, because managing resource is difficult. Things are always going to happen outside of your control, whether it be physical or whether it be human resource or other. Like it says there, it's fraught with challenges that require proactive strategies. Over-allocation of human resource, it happens. Projects can very easily spiral. When they get to crunch time and things need to happen, you might have had some change controls come in from the customer, but no additional time allowed or budget allowed. You might have had some internal sickness or absence in the team. And that means that your human resource is then over allocated, and it's going to need some very good resource management to get out of that. Overloading team members with excessive tasks leads to burnout and reduced productivity. And I've seen it time and time again, especially prevalent in the development and in construction. You know, people are almost forced and expected to work very, very long days, especially towards the end of a project. And there's a lot of times where it doesn't end well, and that person ends up burning out, going off with stress, could be off for weeks at a time. And that is far worse than not overburdening them and leveling off your resource earlier in the project and managing your resource effectively earlier to ensure that doesn't happen. So apply resource smoothing to distribute workload evenly. There we go. A bit of balancing, a bit of leveling. And then we've got some applications. Again, there are going to be 10 of these. We'll go through the first one together. And then I want you to go ahead and take a look, give it a read, and think about the resource management in all of these examples. So we've got a marketing campaign here. So the scenario, a company is launching a global product campaign targeting multiple regions. So human resource is graphic designers, copywriters, and the marketing team. Marketing strategists, rather. And then physical, you've got the design software, office spaces for brainstorming as well. Key technique is skill alignment and capacity planning. Obviously, you've got some very skilled people in there. You've got graphic designers, copywriters, marketing teams, but they are very specific. You can't have your marketing team normally doing your graphic design. You can't have the graphic designers doing your marketing activity. And obviously, capacity planning to make sure that none of them are overworked and their resources level. Use Kanban boards to manage tasks and ensure even workload distribution. The campaign materials were delivered on schedule, with all team members having clear, efficient roles to execute their tasks seamlessly. And that is just an example of how good resource planning, understanding the resource available to you, what they're good at, why they need to do what they do and when they need to do it, putting all of that together, all that planning together, leads to success. Give these other examples a read and just consider how the resource has been managed effectively in order to lead to the outcome that it has. You've then got your summary tables. Read through, just double check your understanding of resource management. As always, once you get to the end of these, you've got your practice questions. Go and test your own knowledge and understanding. Go and do these practice questions and see how you get on. If you do struggle for any reason, go back and read through. Read the summary tables, read everything back again. Watch this video again, if you need to. If you still struggle, then by all means do reach out to us. Let us know. We are here to help and assist. We are here to guide you through to success on this certification. Now, with that all being said, this is Resource Management. I've been Ibby Taylor, and as always, I'll see you on the next one.